Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, Slayer is now out, as you can see. So I played around with Slayer for a few hours, just, kind of figure out what the character's all about in this rendition. He's very much classic Slayer, like what you would expect out of the character. He's not a wild reinvention or anything, but he's also very silly. So let's get into it. So a few things to talk about just out of the gate before we get into the meat and potatoes. His animation is just fantastic. Like even little stuff like his crouch, it's the classic crouch he's always had, but when he stands back up, the bats reform into his cape. I think that's actually really sick. Other little things, as you probably may well know, Slayer's like the original I'm too cool for this fight character. And when it comes to getting the wheelchair in his knees like everyone else, he plays it off, once again, like he's too cool. Look at this. He just smiles it off. Everyone else makes the big silly face, and this guy is just smiling it off. So Slayer letting you know just how powerful he is. And we have the new stage with the addition of Slayer as well. We got like some northern lights going on in the background. Everything's kind of holiday themed. A little bit early for that, considering we're just sort of entering summer now, but regardless, it looks really nice, looks really cool. The various side stages also look good as well, as you would expect. This stage and the last stage have both been bangers, and ArcSys knows how to make a good stage. That's really all I can say. Everything looks beautiful, everything looks very, very nice. Alright, so now let's talk the character. So yes, pile bunker, still a thing, don't worry. And if you're anywhere near the corner, instant wall splat. Oh, I just kind of pay attention to that right now. Look at that wall splat state. He's just kind of playing it off too cool as well. I didn't notice that till right now. So yeah, once again, the animation, the characteristics, and the mannerisms of Slayer are still as good as they've ever been. And besides that, all the classic Slayer-isms, his, M. Bison style sweep, him flailing like a crazy person while he's in the air, the various Mappa punches, like, it's all here, but there's that and a little bit more. So let's talk about how the dandy step changed up. So horizontal back kick is basically about what you remember. Like, once again, you can go into pile bunker. We have other options as well. If you go for slash, that's a dedicated overhead. If you go for kick, that is a low. So you got your, high-low mix out of the gate. The heavy slash out of dandy step is stupid plus on block. Like, look at this. We don't get numbers just yet, but it's plus a fair bit. I can hopefully tell you can infer from this, right? The enemy Slayer jumps way before I can jump. So we got our overhead, we got our low, we got our plus on block if you're passive, and we got pile bunker for all the usual pile bunker shenanigans. Okay, that's working out great. We also have, of course, go back punch. So this is a 4-moving dandy step like some of the older games, right? And all the options are still there. You still maintain everything, right? The thing is, it can cross up. You can actually make yourself just go intangible, go through the opponent, which can get tricky, basically, because you can do instant cross-up stuff. Say combine, with his unique dash, which already can do much the same, you can get some very visually tricky scenarios, like this one here, which I guarantee you will not block the first time around. First time around, you're probably not blocking that, right? So you can get really gimmicky with it. And I guess we're going to get a little ahead of ourselves for a second here, but the side switch stuff also happens in combos. Like, you're going to find yourself, when you're comboing someone, depending on your routes, like on the other side of them, and then re-going back. I'll just give you a quick example. And don't worry, we're going to talk about the buff from that in a minute. And there you go. That's silly, right? I have no idea if that's optimal. The timing's a little difficult because once you get the counter effect going on here after charge dust, there's an element of manual timing. You have to let them fall down a bit. But yeah, you can do a lot of silly stuff with the characters, what I'm trying to say, and that's not the least of it. So now to get into some of the meat and potatoes of the character, once again, Slayer's, like, he has a lot of classic Slayerisms. I think he's very easy for overall use, very easy to understand for what he is. If you're more like on the beginner end of things, I don't think you'll have much difficulty getting into and playing and learning the character. Not the least of which is he has some very generous advantage frames. Like we talked about Dandy Step Heavy Slash, that's plus on block, sure. But I'm just talking like the basic stuff. So forward light kick is an overhead. Do have to block the standing. And if it gets, if you get the hit, easy hit confirm combo, whatever, right? But the move is also advantage on block. Notice here, the enemy Slayer will jump ever so slightly before I jump. Therefore, that means they are going first. They have the frame advantage. Usually an overhead that could start a full combo wouldn't also be plus on block, but, well, this is Guilty Gear Strive, and this is Slayer. Also, if you hold the button, he'll do a fake out with nothing. So if people, it is a slower overhead, admittedly, right? You can see it coming. So if people see it coming and are ready for the blocking, just go fake out and just shock them or something like that. But here's the real one, okay? So what's a really silly move to be plus on block? How about Stand Slash? Stand Slash is ridiculous for so many reasons. Let's just run through them. 1, 2-hitter, right? Easy hit confirms. You can easily see, oh, do I got my hit? Okay, I can just keep going with whatever. Sure. 2, you may notice the stagger window on the first hit. Why is there a stagger move, considering it just immediately combos into itself? What's the point of that? Well, because it's a stagger okay move, that means you can combo into throws. Both hits are special cancelable. Hit 1 and hit 2 are both special cancelable. And we do have the command grab, which we'll talk about, so you can cancel hit 1 into the grab, because it has the stagger frames attached to it, right? Very much by design, for sure. If you get that hit confirm, you can go right into grab and go in, just the madness associated with it, because of that buff. We'll get into it. And this move is also advantage on block. Once again, we don't have the numbers in this early juncture, but it's got to be plus a few frames at least. The enemy Slayer is jumping higher and further than I am than compared to the overhead. So plus. So okay. Easy hit confirms, combos in the grab, plus on block. Also, if you're not like max range, it links back into close slash. So you can go far slash, close slash, far slash. And to keep the logic train going, you can go far slash, close slash, far slash, close slash, far slash. Like, depending on your spacing, right? But it's very silly. Very silly. And he has a wild assault very conducive to this. So since far slash goes into close slash, goes into far slash, goes into close slash, goes into far, and ad infinitum till you're, go cross-eyed, right? Let me show you world's easiest corner-to-corner combo. So yeah, anywhere on screen, if you got the burst to support some wild assaults, anywhere on screen you get a guaranteed wall break due to just how silly that combo structure is. Now, I'm not saying it's optimal or whatever, but I'm just saying if you want a corner break anywhere on screen, you can always force the issue as long as you got a wild assault to back it up, because just how silly far slash is, basically. Very, very silly move. But I guess now let's talk the grab, Bloodsucking Universe. So it's just half circle back heavy slash. Not the most damaging grab. Although, it does heal you a little bit if you check the enemy Slayer out. Not a lot, but a little bit, right? So that's nice. But the real reason here is the buff. So the buff, while it's live, turns any hit into a guaranteed, counter hit, right? It's a different branding, because it's a universe punish. You see here just universe across the screen, right? Versus the traditional counter. But it gives you all the same properties. Like here, you see here, far heavy slash bounces, right? But if we just get the regular universe version, it's still going to be the same deal. And boom, bounce. There you go, right? So fishing for counter hits is really good, but there's a couple of things about this. So yes, it turns anything into a counter hit. However, if you whiff, you don't burn the buff. If they block, you don't burn the buff. It doesn't last forever, but it'll be there for a good bit. And eventually, if you do catch them, then the next hit will be that, right? So force counter hit's kind of a big deal in Guilty Gear Strive, right? So that's really wild. Also, it gives the big boy counter effect to all buttons. Like say, we got counter hit on, sure. Big button, big counter. But a little button, not so much, right? However, with the buff up, it gives any button the big boy counter, even a jab. See that? So even jab gets all the benefit out of it. So that means there's going to be a lot of inventive combo routes where you can just snake someone with a quick, punch or kick. And like, look at this. Even crouch kick. You could probably get a lot off that. Like legitimately, at bare minimum here, right? So poke. Oh, gotcha. Like, we can get some stuff off of it, right? It's much bigger than just a little dinky counter hit the lights normally get. So whenever you get that grab, you got to start praying Slayer doesn't touch you, because that's probably legitimately game if he gets you in any way, shape, or form. And once again, Danny Step's got the mix built in, right? So like, boom, low, that's a launcher. Overhead, even bigger launcher, right? Like he's gonna get you, he's gonna rip you in half. Not the least of which is he's got some silly tech. Because Slayer's Slayer, right? He doesn't run like most characters. But what we can do is cancel the beginning of his unique dash into a jump. And fighting game inputs being fighting game inputs, we can cancel pre-jump frames into other things, and that means you can scam pretty good here. Because the one weakness, if you want to call it that, like this isn't no Potemkin Buster. Like it's got very little range as a grab, right? But we can scam it so we can do the first part of our move, like the actual input, dash, jump cancel the dash with a button, and then we'll get a moving forward command grab, very similar like how Potemkin does it. So once again here, just do the motion, half circle back, then hit dash, then hit up and heavy slash. And hey, look at that. So look at our inputs here. So we got the half circle back, then we hit the dash macro, and then up, and then heavy slash. And that makes us cancel the beginning of our dash into the grab, but we keep all the momentum of the dash. So just like Potemkin and the Kara Buster, we now have our own sliding forward command grab. And it's not magic, but normally you have to be like literally touching the enemy basically to get it going, right? From a little further away, like kind of roughly this range here, right? Boom, we got it. You can hit forward and dash macro if you want, just for like timing reasons, so you don't accidentally, hit dash macro when you're holding back and then kind of screw up the whole thing. But yeah, we can slide forward while grabbing. So if you do like, whatever string push people out, you can work your way back in. So the tech is there. Also, just one more thing for the grab thing. Crouch slash has like a vacuum effect like Potemkin's old normals back in the day. So very conducive to like, hey, you're going to try to hit a button here and I'll counter hit you, or you're going to stay passive and I'll grab you, right? So you'll be a grabby boy, I think. I'm sure you've seen the supers, Super Mappa Hunch really good, because it's basically like a full screen gotcha move. So Kai's set the block right now. But if I catch him in like the startup of a move, as it's full invincible, like it's a full screen gotcha, right? So it's basically a reaction check. So if I got the meter like do anything with, just don't do anything with a long recovery, because I'll absolutely get you. It's that kind of move. It's a move where, depending on the matchup, depending on the character, you can kind of hold certain people hostage, because you're just like, you just buffer it in, and as soon as you see, oh, got ya, you're dead, right? And especially near the corner, wall splat, go from there. So it's a pretty good super. And speaking of pretty good supers, in case you didn't see the trailers or something, he has the Last Horizon, where he goes full vampire on you. After biting you, he comes young and full power again. And when he hits you, it does like, a couple points of damage, as you can see. Yeah, it's kind of a lot, right? And it takes 100% of your tension. Takes all of your meter. And to satiate your curiosity against Asuka, if the mana shield is broken... So if you want your instant kills, this is basically an instant kill. He's literally at full health, and now he's literally dead. So there you go. It is 100 tension, so like you're not going to see it all the time or nothing. But yeah, the super suite for the character is really, really, really good. I don't know, in the end, he just seems like a very Sledgehammer kind of character, not a lot of nuance. It's all about either just going the raw dandy step and hitting you with something huge. We got overhead, we got low, we got very plus on block guard crush move, and of course pile bunker to catch any counter hits. Like even something as seemingly harmless as, hitting a jab back after a block string, well, That could be the end of you, right? Especially in the corner where, you know, we're going to get that wall splat and just go out from there. And with the buff from Bloodsucking Universe, where any hit's going to become, you know, a magic hit, basically just guess for your life. I don't know. Slayer just seems kind of easy to work with, right? And there's going to be a lot more advanced concepts, like, say, like the odd side switch combos and all that we showed earlier in the video. Those are timing intensive. Will remain to be seen how that's going to turn out. But he's easy to use. He's got big damage. He's got big plus frames. If he gets the command grab off, and there's tricks to it, like the Kara, like we showed earlier. If he gets that off, you make one mistake, that's probably the round right then and there, right? So Slayer definitely feels strong on this, you know, day one impression anyways. And that all said, I like him. I think he's pretty cool. I definitely think you should try him out if you can. A lot of people waited a very long time for Slayer to show up in Strive, and he's finally here, and I don't think he'll disappoint. But that all said, that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.